Welcome, welcome. My name is Ayo Oseni and I am your college admissions strategist. I partner with students and families to help them to successfully navigate through the stressful and confusing and overwhelming college admissions process. So I want to just say a big thank you for joining me for my first ever office hours. People have been asking me like, Ayo, what is this office hours about? Basically, I teach currently as a professor at a local university, and I've been using live streaming, Skype, as office hours, and I thought this would be a great medium to connect with people or anyone who needs help with college admission. So this would be my platform for you to ask your questions and for me to answer them free of charge. So for now, the plan is to do the broadcast from the U.S. College Experts page, which is where you are right now, every second and fourth Thursday of the month. At 8 p.m. So for right now, that's what we're going to try and see if it works for us. If it doesn't, it's fine. We'll change the time. If it doesn't work for you and you're watching us on the replay, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Feel free to also leave any questions that you have for us in the comments box below. So let's just jump into it. Our topic for tonight is what students should do now or even start thinking about as they start preparing for college admissions. So as I work with my students, my key thing during the whole process is to be organized, have goals, and remain focused, because there's a lot of distractions along the way, and so I really want them to know their deadlines, know the schools that they're applying to, and just have everything right in front of them, and that's key to the success when I do work with my students. You have to also carefully plan out everything. Being accepted to your top choice school doesn't happen by chance. There's a lot that happens behind the scenes, and a lot happens before you even submit that first application, so you have to be ready to put that effort in. So that being said, what I'm going to do is just talk about high level 5 things that I believe will benefit most students between the grades of 9th through 12th. 12th graders are now kind of trickling off and now starting to look towards actually being on the college campus because they're receiving their acceptance letters at this point. But it's still across the board would definitely be helpful. So the first thing that I'd like to talk about is majors. So at this point, whether you're 9th, 10th, or 11th grade, you should be thinking about what major you're interested in. You should really research the majors and try to be able to speak to it and speak to the reason why you want to pursue that particular major is key. Because I have a lot of students, or I've run across some students when I ask them, why do you want to major in a particular subject or what have you, or discipline, they tend to say, oh, Ayo, it's because of the money, they make good money, oh, it's because my dad told me I had to do it. And so those things right there are flashing red lights to me that this is not the major for you. I believe for the most part, you're entitled to change your major down the line, but for the most part, the reason why you select a major is because you're really interested in it. You see what you're going to do in life. The major being basically a foundation for you to be able to pursue the things you want to do in the future. So one of the things I also suggest students to do is to talk to individuals who are professionals in the area, whether in your major or in a career that you're interested in going into, to understand why they also chose that major. And then also talk to students that are actually in the field currently. That will also give you an idea as to what the demands of the major might be, what their experiences are as a student, and so it kind of lets you see what might happen to you before you actually spend all the money to go to school for that particular major. Use the opportunity when you do talk to those professionals to seek out any internship or shadowing opportunities that they might have as well. and I, when you do speak to the student or the professional, I would strongly advise you to really get their honest, real perspective to the career path or the major you're going into. Sometimes even when people come to me, I studied business as an undergraduate student, business, finance, and accounting, and I also did my MBA in project management. However, when I tell students I did accounting and finance, I tell them that I hated it. I just struggled to do it because I was looking for the money at the end of the day. I was looking for job security, but I never, honestly, I haven't worked as an accountant. I did some work with finance, but just accounting, getting my CPA, that was not the track for me. So also when I do speak to students that come and intern at my place of employment, I like to let them know, like, okay, these are the things that I think you should start working towards, maybe some certifications that they might need to do, maybe some softwares that they need to master so that they can be more marketable. And a professional that's in the field will be able to tell you that as you start looking towards your major. So just use the opportunity to do that when you're having that conversation. And then another reason why you should start thinking about your major now is knowing your major will also help you narrow down the list of schools. And you might say, well, Aya, what do you mean by that? So you might say, oh, I want to go to school A. I've been wanting to go to school A since I was born. My mother went to school A, and that's what I want to do. However, school A doesn't have your major. So in doing your research about your major and the schools, you might find that the schools that you're really interested in or had some interest in over some time may not have your actual major, or may not have the deep concentration that you're looking for. So you want to look at that when trying to decide your major or looking at different schools for your major. And so the next thing, point number 2 that I want to talk about is finances. Everybody loves money. I know I do. However, talking about money sometimes can be very difficult, especially when it comes to talking about how you're going to pay for college. So I highly, highly recommend, please, oh please, talk to your child, talk to your parents about who is going to pay for college tuition, because it is expensive, and you don't want to have that conversation senior year after you're getting those acceptance letters. You want to be proactive in your planning and knowing who will pay and how you're going to pay, or how you're going to afford certain schools. And you might say, you know, to your son or daughter, hey, I'm willing to pay the first 2 years of your school, and you have to pay the rest, or I'm not taking out any loans for you, and that's it. So in my case, my mom was like, I got your first semester, and that was it. I had to pay the rest of my school, and I worked full-time and part-time for a greater portion of my undergraduate career, but that was just a decision that I had to make in order to pay for school. So definitely have that conversation. Don't let it to be the last thing on your list. Have it early. And again, I want to stress, the average cost in the United States of America for a public institution, college, 4 years, not 7, not 8, not graduate, nothing, 4 years, is $24,610 per year. Whereas the average home or family gonna get $24,000 per year to pay for tuition. Now, granted, this is a sticker price of what it might cost. This does not include any grants or anything or loans that might be applied to that, but this is just a sticker price. I want to go to this school. This is how much it's gonna cost. $24,000. Okay. So now take that same $24,600. We'll just say $24,000 for now. Take that same $24,000 and then multiply it by 4, 5, 6 even. And you're saying, Io, why those numbers? That's probably how long you're going to be in school. So let's really be real about it. So you're going to take this, and this 24,000 will probably go up over time in the duration that you're in school. But let's just say, all things being equal, it's going to cost you $24,000 to go to this school. So 24,000 times 4, 5, or 6. Now, parents, take that same number and multiply it by the number of children you have. Did anyone just faint? Because that's some serious cash that's out there. So you don't want to leave this conversation to the last minute. I tell families, if you're having from when the child is a child, not even walking, you want to sit down and really think about how you're going to pay for your children's tuition. So definitely take a look at that. One good tool that I like to tell parents to take a look at is what is called the net price calculator. So what the net price calculator does, it provides an estimate of what it might cost you to attend a particular college or university. So just for a disclaimer, anytime I say college, I'm really saying college and university combined as well. But in this, I just said college. Okay, so the net price calculator is a great tool to utilize to figure out or estimate how much it may cost you to attend a particular university. Okay, so what I want to do is actually show you what the net price calculator looks like. Let's go. I'm going to share my screen with you guys tonight. So if you do have any comments, any questions, and I end the broadcast before I see your comments, I'm sorry. I will definitely personally answer your question as soon as possible. Okay, so what I'm going to do is share my screen with you right now. So this is what the net price calculator looks like. I hope you can see it. Let me try to see if I can make it a little bigger for you. So you would just go to the collegecost.ed.gov, type in the name of the school. I already had University of West Georgia on here. That's the school I graduated from. Go Wolves. So you go on there, or you actually would select the school that you're interested in, checking the estimated cost and look them up, and then it'll ask you some information about your finances, and then punch that information in, and then at the end it will give you a estimated calculation of what it would cost you to go to that school based on I want to say the previous year's cost of tuition. So that's a really good tool. I will also leave that link in the video or in the comments area once I post the video. So that's that. Let's go back to me. Okay. All right. So that was cost. Make sure you talk to your kids, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, figure out how you're going to pay for tuition and estimate the cost. So the next thing is take advantage of the resources that are in front of you. Students, this is particularly for the students I'm talking to, because I know you have a lot of things in the forefront of your mind. You're thinking about your sports, and you're thinking about your boo thing. You're thinking about a lot of things, but you need to really focus on your college and who can help you get into college and who can be a resource for you when trying to make that decision. So a great resource you want to utilize is your school counselor. Some schools call them college counselors, guidance counselors. So you want to make sure you utilize those individuals, and then also build a rapport with those individuals as well, because they're going to help you all throughout the process. So depending on your school's population, depending on your school's population, your counselor might have hundreds of students assigned to them. And so you want to make sure they know who you are and that you're not just a number, you're not just a senior or a junior. They need to know you by name. They need to know what your interests are. So if anything comes across their desk, they'll remember you. Oh, Io, I know that she wants to be a med student, and maybe call you into their office or whatever. But make sure that you talk to them well in advance about your goals and what you're considering. And seniors, I know maybe this may no longer pertain to you, but this I have to say. Make sure you send a thank you letter or say thank you note or buy some cookies or something for your counselors, because they've done so much for you, getting those transcripts, making sure those recommendations were in, answering your questions, what have you. Make sure that you truly appreciate them, and also appreciate anyone that wrote your recommendation as well. So I see that some questions are coming in. Okay, so the next thing is grades. Grades, people. Grades are the most important thing when it comes to college admissions. I mean, everything, you know, every school weighs it different, but the main thing is grades. And they use it to consider you for admissions. And you might say, why is it just grades? And it's not just grades, but it's a predictive indicator as to how well you might do at that institution. So they look at your grades to determine that. But as well as most schools look at you holistically, and they look at other factors, but the number one thing is that they're gonna look at your grades. So now if you're struggling early, you're looking at yourself right now, maybe you're a junior or maybe 10th grader, and you're struggling a little bit earlier in college or in high school, but now you found your stride. Great, clap for yourself, okay? That is awesome. Colleges and universities are looking for you to improve over the years. So if you didn't do too hot freshman year or 9th grade year, but then you got it together 10th grade year, and then 11th grade year you were amazing, awesome. Just keep at it. And then also try to take the most challenging courses while that your school has to offer. Now, my biggest disclaimer with this one is, please, don't look at your friends. Don't look at what your friends might be doing. Look at yourself. Really do an honest and critical self-assessment on yourself to determine whether or not you can handle that AP class or you can handle that honors class. Okay, so and maybe even right now, look at yourself. Are you doing extremely well in your AP or your honors class? And and meaning that you're getting a solid A or B in that class, then that's awesome. Continue on that path. However, if you find that you are struggling to even get a C, even with tutoring, you might want to really reevaluate whether or not you continue on that track with AP or honors. You might want to just take a step down. If you're AP, drop down to honors. If you're in honors, drop down to regular, because again, your grades are critical in the application process. So you want to do well in the courses that you take, but you don't want to struggle through them or almost fail at the same time. But again, at the same time, you still want to challenge yourself. So really do that self-evaluation. So extracurricular activities play a huge role. Not as huge as grades, but they are factored into the grand picture of your application. And I say this because many schools now ask for resumes. They ask for activities lists on their application, and you might say, why is that? It's because they want to get to know you. They want to know who you are outside of your academics, outside of the classroom. They want to know what you're involved in. They want to know another side to you. It can reveal your activities, can also reveal what you may be passionate about to them, based on which activities you select. It can reveal some characteristics about you that match what the school is looking for. So you definitely want to make sure that you are selecting activities that fall in line with what your interests are and what you're passionate about. When I was in high school, I don't really think it mattered. It was kind of like, well, at least me, I was kind of all over the place. I was just adding stuff I was just in stuff to be in stuff. But this day and age, many schools, they're looking for quality, not quantity. They don't want you to fill up your whole resume with stuff and you're not really passionate about it or you're not really invested in it. They want to see that you're connected and invested to the things you spend your time in. So you want to make sure that you are selecting those activities very well. So when you're getting involved and doing extracurricular activities, you'll develop your leadership skills, you'll uncover some talents and passions you may have not known you had, and it can also help you narrow down possible careers or majors because of the different things that you find yourself in. So in all of that, all the activities that you decide to do, make sure that you keep track of all your achievements. Keep track of all your extracurricular activities, both inside the classroom, outside the classroom, whether it's in a hard file where you keep everything, you slide everything in, or in a electronic file like on Google Drive or Dropbox, and put everything in there. And so, because eventually down the line, especially during your senior year, you're going to have to reference these items. All right, so now I had some questions come in, some by email, I'm getting some WhatsApps as well right now, so I'm going to try to answer those questions. But those are basically the 5 points that I wanted to touch on tonight. Like I said, they're a bit general, but they're definitely helpful and will help you kind of figure out what you need to be doing. So again, your major, try to use resources, people, research online to figure out what major you want to do. Your finances, definitely have that conversation about who's paying, and then take advantage of your counselor at school, and then your grades as well, and extracurricular activities. Make sure you get involved. So some of the questions now, to answer the questions tonight, I had one from Denise. Hey, Denise from McLean. She sent in a question, said, my son is in 11th grade. How many SATs should he take? And I'm actually going to combine SAT and ACT together in my response in this question. So generally, I would say as a junior, you should take no more than 3 SATs. SATs or ACTs. Anything more than 3 after doing proper, and I say proper, like you really studied and took time to do an SAT prep, whether it was online with Khan Academy or you bought the College Board book, whatever, with proper prep and studying, it may not yield that much of a dramatic result. If you now try to take a 4th and a 5th test, it may not. Nothing, you might go up just a tad, but it may not be worth your time. So I advise my clients to do 2 things. Knock out your SAT or your ACT junior year so that you can fully focus on your senior year, your applications during that first part of your senior year. If you have Okay, and then if you need to take the exam during your senior year, go right ahead, but make sure you take it early because especially if you're applying early action or early decision, you want to make sure those SAT scores or ACT scores are out on time. So make sure, and you should come up with a testing schedule for that. Testing schedule is key to your studying, so make sure you have that together. However, if you need to take it more than 3 times, I'm not saying you shouldn't, I don't recommend it, but if you have to, I had students in the past where I've known of people who, they were just a couple of points off on the SAT or the ACT in order to receive a merit scholarship from the school that they were accepted into. So they went ahead and took the exam again. So that's a case that I would say, okay, you can go ahead and take more than 2 tests or 3 tests. Okay, and really, really, really be intentional with your SAT and your ACT prep. Have a plan and stick to it. The preps come in so many different options. So you can do online prep, where it's a live online. You can do online self-paced with Khan Academy, which I highly recommend that you do. Online self-paced with Higher Score, Lauren. I'll put her information below. She's amazing. I've had some students go through her and they've had some really good results with her. And then also if you want to do some test prep, you're trying to figure out, should I take the ACT or the ACT or the SAT? Then I would suggest that you definitely take the practice test on those websites. as well, the ACT website as well as the Khan Academy website. So I hope that answers your question, Denise. If it doesn't, send me a message and I will get back to you. Now, next person is Temi from Colombia. She sends in the question, I am in 10th grade. When should I start going on college tours? Temi, and to all students who, other than seniors, I would recommend that you go on college tours as early as possible. So if it's 9th grade, 8th grade, I would recommend going on them because they can actually, going on a college tour, to me, and listening to admissions reps kind of changes your perspective of how serious you need to be, especially if you're really listening to those admissions reps or admissions counselors when you go to these schools. Kind of changes your perspective, because I have students who have gone on the college tours in 8th, or they were rising 9th graders, and they were like, wow, I'm glad I went on this college tour because now I know exactly what I need to do. Versus I've taken seniors on a college tour and they're like, oh my God, I really want to go to this school, but I don't know if I can make it. So it's a different perspective. The earlier, I think, the better for you. So if you can do it now, do it. And so for those of you who don't have the budget to go away or go a long distance to see some of these schools, there's so many different options, but I would recommend starting at home first. We're in the DMV, there's so many colleges in the area that you can go to. Take a day, parents, take if you can, take a day off work, take your son or daughter to visit some of these schools. Start there first, so you can kind of get a feel whether you want a big school or a small school. If you want to be in the country, which is what I like, University of West Georgia was amazing. However, I haven't been there in a while, so I'm sure it's developed now. But it gives you a feel of the type of school that you want to go to. So I've taken students to the University of Pennsylvania, UPenn, which is in downtown Philly. And you're in downtown, so you're walking to class. I mean, you can imagine yourself walking to class, and then people from the city are just walking right by you as you're walking to class. It really has that urban feel, versus Princeton, which was very traditional. It had that, that old school architecture, that traditional college campus that you see on TV. So, you have to go on these college tours to determine what kind of environment you would feel most comfortable in. And until you put your feet on the campus, sometimes you really don't know. So, but it's not all the times that you're able to do that. So families, parents, if you have a upcoming vacation, maybe you're going to Orlando or something, there's schools in Orlando. Take a stop. Use the opportunity to visit a campus there. And especially if you have kids that are really close in age, that's definitely even more of a reason why you should do it, because you can knock it out all at one time as well. And it is an educational element that you can add to your trip while you're having fun. So in addition, while you're on those college tours, see if you can, see if the school offers some shadowing. Some schools have, or shadow program. Some schools allow you to come in as a student and actually shadow a current student, go into their classes, maybe even spending the night, eating in the cafeteria, or going to a major game, what have you. They have some of those programs in place. I know the University of Maryland College Park has Shadow Interpreter. I can't remember the name exactly, but that's many schools have a similar program. So definitely check out the admissions website to see what you can do to do that. Also check with your counselor if there are some schools, and again, guidance counselor, you need to make sure you utilize them as a resource. They might have a list of schools that are willing to pay or subsidize for your travels to visit a school. So make sure you take advantage of that. And then another alternative to actually being on the campus is actually doing a virtual visit. A lot of these schools, because of technology, they allow you to kind of see the campus from the comfort of your home. So some of them have a little tour guide that explains what this building is, and it shows you the business building and all the different amenities that the school has, and it's done virtually. And then some of them with the virtual, I forgot what they call that thing, virtual camera, I don't know, but the virtual goggles, I think that's what it is. I don't know, but you can take a view of the school that way as well. So technology is there. You may not be able to afford to go to the campus, or the campus is too far, but definitely take advantage and use technology as well. All right, so other thing is, where can I find scholarships? So there are several places that you can find a scholarship. Okay, or several ways you can come about finding scholarships. You can go through the scholarships websites. Some of them are fastweb.com, CapX, Unigo, unigo.com. However, the greatest amount of scholarships that student will probably get will come from the school that they've been admitted into. Merit scholarships or any need-based scholarship the school might offer. So that tends to be the greatest amount of scholarship a student gets. Not to say that's the only source or you can get for scholarships, but try that as well. Okay, so let's see. I was talking about where you can get scholarships from, and then to offset the costs, I would advise you again to check with your guidance counselor. They might have a scholarship list available. Check your school's website. They might have the list available online as well. And then while you're online, I would also advise you check other schools' websites to see if they have scholarship lists available. Sometimes they post them right there and it's available to the public, so you can check that out as well. And check with your employer to see if your employer or any organization that you're associated with might also have scholarships available, but you would just have to ask or maybe check their website as well. So I had one question that came in. Okay, Jumi is asking, does your grants or loan cover your tuition for just a year or all through college years? And will it cover the $24,000 or part of it? Okay, so Jumika, so each year you're supposed to fill out what they call the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid form. So you're supposed to fill out that form. So there is a maximum amount of loans that they provide, and then there is also a maximum amount of need-based grant that's included on that loan. In your financial aid package as well. That $24,000 would cover a whole school year. So basically fall and spring. So basically $12,000 each semester. So when they issue you your financial aid, they break it up in half. So they pay for the first semester, and then when you start the second semester, they now pay the remaining balance. So what happens to some students is their total financial aid package, maybe they didn't get enough scholarships or what have you, there's still a balance that's outstanding. So that's where they either need to go and get outside loans. Parents now have to resort to getting Parent Plus loans or getting loans from the bank to cover the cost of tuition. So I hope that answers your question, Jumi. Okay, is there any other questions? Let me see if I can see. Okay, I don't see any more. If you have some time and you want some more, a checklist that kind of goes into detail what you should be doing month by month, I want to invite you to visit my website or our website, uscollegeexperts.com, where you can get an instant access to our free high school student checklist. Just enter your email address at the bottom, press submit, and then you'll be redirected to another page where you will have access to the checklist. It's very thorough. I would like to get some feedback. Take a look at it and let me know what you think. If you found this broadcast really helpful, I know, please share it out. And then if you are interested in being part of any of our future Facebook Lives or office hours, you have questions, feel free to send them through to us on our website or our Facebook page. And I hope that all this information was helpful. I was really had fun hanging out with you guys tonight. Thank you so much. Feel free to like our Facebook page so that you can also get notifications of when we do come live. I'm gonna, like I said, I'll try to stick to the schedule, but if I find that we might need to change the time, then we will go ahead and do that. Again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And share this broadcast out. Once I post it, share it out to your network if it was helpful. Thank you so much. Good night.